Richmond Primary School, with its new arrivals program and a high proportion of students who speak English as an additional language, has enjoyed outstanding success in recent years in improving the literacy outcomes of all its students. A critical focus for the school has been to develop teachers' understandings of the central role language plays in learning and to develop teaching practices which can be used across the curriculum to address the language-related needs of all students in an explicit manner. The Teaching ESL in Mainstream Classrooms course provides an ideal vehicle to develop such understandings.
We identified that the TESMC was the course, the starting point, to provide the framework for all our teachers to have that common professional experience and then have the language that they need to understand their own capacity as teachers of the English language, and then also have the language that they need and the skills that they need to identify the stage that the children are at to move them to the next stage in their learning.
All teachers at the school are taken through the TESMC course by the School Literacy Coordinator, Carol Jones.
So we all did that course, and then because Carol is a trained tutor, she is able to pick up additional staff that come into our school and train them in the course as well. Definitely our platform, it was our stepping off point. It was the common professional experience that got us going.
One of the major benefits of having a whole staff do the TESMC course is that all the teachers at the school have a shared set of understandings about language, underpinned by a functional model of language.
Once we got into a whole school approach, where there was consistency from classroom to classroom, we didn't have that before. So we had some teachers teaching grammar in a traditional way, some teachers not teaching grammar at all, some teachers not teaching any part of language, but once we got that consistent approach, then students were going from what they knew to the next stage and building on that prior knowledge, and that made a big difference. I think the teachers had common understandings and the children had common understandings, so instead of going from one class and going, wow, I've never heard this before, or I've heard this in a different way, once we had that consistent approach, it really made a big effect.
By developing a teacher's capacity to explicitly teach about texts that students are expected to compose, all students are able to enjoy literacy success.
It was around the genre that really got us going, because we didn't have a consistent approach to teaching genre. We knew about genre, but we knew about it in terms of perhaps just the range of genres and the different structure, but we didn't understand the language of genre. So once we used the functional model, it gave us that into the purpose and the structure, and most importantly, teachers became more aware of language features and started to teach those consistently across the school.
The TESMC requires a significant investment to train a tutor and roll out the program for teachers across the school. Is this investment worthwhile?
Well, I'd say it doesn't get much more important than this, and so it's about really focusing on what makes a difference to pedagogy in the classroom and teacher capacity and student learning, and that it's my job as a principal to sharpen that focus and make sure that our curriculum is not a mile wide, but it's nice and deep.
Well, I think it's well worth every cent, because to get teacher capacity is the absolute first thing that you must get. You have this realisation that what your students need is a greater knowledge of language, how to use language, how empowering it is. You want all your students to be able to experience that, but you can't get them to that stage unless teachers also understand that and know a lot about it. So it's a great investment.